Welcome back to C++ with Miyoshi. Today we're going to talk about enums. Enums are something that we use. They're basically integers, and we use them. I use them really for readability. I haven't used them much for much more than that, but they do help your code become a little bit more readable. So enums. We have over here. We have enum sizes, and enum again is just basically it's another integers, and so we have enum sizes. Sizes now becomes a new data type, if you will, and we have a curly brace, and it says none, comma SM for small, comma MED for medium, comma large, comma jumbo, and then we have a curly brace, close curly brace, and a semicolon. What this does is it says these words here now, none, small, medium, large, and jumbo. I don't use the word small here because small was a keyword in the past, and so I want to make sure I'm keeping that as a keyword there. But anyway, so none, small, medium, large, and jumbo. These guys represent integers, and they represent specific integers, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 in this case. And all we're really doing here is we're saying that if I use a data type of sizes, like I have down here in my main, sizes pop is assigned the value small, then now this SM can be used as an integer, and in this case an integer for 1. And that's going to help me maybe realize that, hey, I have a small pop, and so that's going to cost me so much or something like that in my program. And so I'll use that to help me remember that a 1 is small, and so I'll use that in maybe a switch or something like that, which we'll talk about in a moment. Then we have this over here. That's the essential way we use enum. So notice that these become 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and really they just, whatever you have the first one, they always start at 0 unless you tell it otherwise, and then they increase 1 at a time. Okay, so then here we have enum months, a slightly different example, and in this case we have a curly brace, and we have Jan as assigned the value 1. So this guy here, Jan, now starts out with 1, Feb is 2, March is 3, April is 4, May 5, June is 6, just as you would expect, and if we had July, August, September, all the rest of them, they would go up to 12, just as you would expect. And the reason we do that here is because we don't want to start at 0, and we just want to increase by 1 the rest of the way, just as if you were having to enumerate the months, give them values, like we know that 1 is January, 2 is February, and so on. And so this would help us to just remember that in a program. The last one here we have count, enum count, and so we have count, and here down here using months, I would just do months, and is assigned the value Jan. Notice that my enum sizes, I have them outside my main. That doesn't make them global. It makes them doesn't make them global variables. It makes them global data types. So anything else beyond here, so anything inside there or up here or after that, those would all be able to use these enumerations. Okay, and then I have months down here. I have M is January, and that just sends my month to be January for them. Okay. Our last one here, I have enum count, and I have open curly brace again. I have each is assigned the value 1, comma does assign the value 12, and gross is assigned the value 144. Back in the old days, a gross was 12 dozen, and so that's something that I use just for an example. So I have each of them is given a different value, and so none of them is just, if I didn't have the assigned the value 12 there, dozen would be a 2, and that's not what I want. I want dozen to be 12. Which it really is. Okay, and again, remember these in C++, they are merely just integers representing these numbers. Okay, so here I have count donuts is assigned the value dozen, and then maybe I have some more programming. Remember the ... just means that there's more code down there. And if I have donuts is assigned the value gross, and no, that's not a commentary on donuts being gross. No, that's just giving a value to donuts to be 144. So in reality, this is just 144, where it used to be 12. So maybe in my program, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch on donuts, and maybe the price of my donuts goes down the more I order. So here I have switch donuts, and then I have to have declared price over here, something a float or a double at the very least, and I have here. For a single donut, then it's going to be priced at 50 cents. And then we're going to break out of there. And then we have a case for it's a dozen. If I have a dozen donuts, if I'm going to buy a dozen donuts, maybe they're going to be 25 cents each. I'll give you a little price break on volume buying. And then we have case gross. then I'm going to give you each for only 10 cents. And then, but by default, maybe is if I'm going to buy them, I don't know why the default would be 1 if the price for each is 50 cents, but hey, that's just the way I coded it here a little bit ago when I wrote it down on the computer, wrote it down here on the whiteboard. So this is just kind of a way, again, I don't use this much except for to make it more readable. And maybe it's not that readable here, maybe it's more readable with a 1, a 12, and a 144, but this kind of gives you an idea of what enums do. Again, I don't use enums that much in my code, but if you read code online, you'll see enums, and they use it to great advantage to different things, and so you can use it to your best advantage in the programs that you write. So a different data type, kind of a new way to think about integers using enum. And next time on C++ with Miyoshi, we will look at structure. So thanks for tuning in, and tuning in next time.